Just after 6 o'clock, Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty, 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. Miss Erin has local news up next, but she stepped out. What's on her agenda this morning?
Shreveport will officially have a new mayor tomorrow. Erin will have the details on that.
Going to that party tonight, aren't you?
It's tomorrow night, and we have hockey. But,
right. Okay, never mind.
The Indy Bowl was record-breaking. We'll have some details on that. And the former city CAO has landed a new job.
Speaking of the Walk-Ons Independence Bowl, we will approach that from a point of view, i.e. mine, I don't think anybody else has thought of. And I might lose a couple of friends. Fletcher in sports and traffic and weather, and it's all coming up this hour, and it's right here on KEEL.
Information. KEEL News now.
Shreveport officially gets a new mayor tomorrow. Matt Parker with the details.
Adrian Perkins will have a busy Saturday as he goes from mayor-elect to mayor. Perkins will be sworn in as Shreveport's new mayor at the Convention Center at 9:30 in the morning. Then at 7 p.m., there will be a black tie mayor's gala. Both events are free and open to the public. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
Shreveport set a world record Thursday at the Walk-Ons Independence Bowl. Chef John Foltz cooked up a Guinness World Record-breaking pot of gumbo as part of the pregame festivities. The gumbo, featuring everything from gator to crawfish, weighed in at a whopping 6,800 pounds, shattering the previous record by 1,000 pounds. By the way, Duke won the game over Temple. Willis Knighton Health System announcing former Shreveport CAO Brian Crawford has been appointed as their senior vice president and CAO. Crawford will take over the post on January 9th. Crawford submitted a letter of resignation to Mayor Tyler prior to the December runoff election. Fees will be doubling in the new year at Cypress Black Bayou Park in Benton. The park raising entry fees from $2 a person to $4. There'll also be a fee increase for boat permits, camping passes, and more. Officials say the cost of living has gone up and the park needs to raise prices so they can keep up with repairs and make improvements. This is the first time in over a decade the park has raised fees for users. With the new year right around the corner, it's time to start getting your tax ducks in a row. L.A. Champagne and Company partner Wayne Dussel says the tax reform bill passed at the beginning of the year means less tax work and the end of the middle-class folks with straightforward finances having to save their 2018 receipts for expenses and charity to itemize for optimal tax results.
Many people who just have things like mortgage interest, property taxes, they in all likelihood, yes, will be taking the standard deduction going forward.
The IRS will start accepting returns January 29th. A woman in active labor crossed the stage to graduate from college in Louisiana. 31-year-old Ann Shenariel Greenhouse was in active labor during LSU Alexandria's fall commencement on December 13th. Saturday, Greenhouse had a healthy baby boy, Zaire. The government shutdown now into day 7. Senator John Kennedy says negotiations have stalled, and it's looking increasingly unlikely they'll have the votes to pass a budget that includes $5 billion in border wall funding demanded by the president.
It could go on a while. If it goes until January 3rd, when the new Congress commences, there'll be a new Democratic liberal majority in the House of Representatives.
Governor Edwards says the shutdown is shameful and needs to be solved quickly in a bipartisan manner. Many CenturyLink customers across the U.S. were without internet Thursday amid a lengthy outage that stretched from New York to California. The outage began early in the day and continued into the evening. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Nine past 6 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Time for traffic. Here's Ruben.
Looks like I-49 South's got to clear all the way to Alexandria right now, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on I-20 westbound near Spring and Market. If you have anything to report to us, give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
Well, our next storm is back in New Mexico, and it will approach us tomorrow, ramping up the rain chances for tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow night. Sunshine here today at 57, clear tonight, low 36. Clouds rolling in with a rain chance late in the day tomorrow, 52. Rain showers likely Sunday, high 50. Richard Wettig, the Weather Channel.
.101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. Erin on a limited basis this morning. How does that sound?
That's a good way to put
We'll
it.
talk about this off and on through the morning. I just bought a copy of Let It Be vinyl by the Beatles on eBay. It was $15.95 plus a little shipping. I hope that will assuage the bump that has the speed bump, the pothole that has infected, if you will, the road of our relationship.
It's definitely put a strain on it.
We'll talk about this a little bit later. There's a lot of hate, a lot of animosity going on in the room this morning. I want to start the show with a replay of our interview with Senator John Kennedy yesterday morning. And Mr. John called, his folks called. Here I was in this room yesterday, patting the producer on the back. I said, nice job, ace producer, stud producer.
As you should.
Producer, what's the word I'm looking
Extraordinaire?
for? Extraordinaire. Thank you. Because you got Bishop Larry Brandon yesterday.
I did.
You got Scott Musket from the Mudbugs.
I did.
And you got United States Senator John Kennedy.
Well, he got us.
Then I come to find out that the big get of the day, the United States Senator, contacted us, and I was giving you the credit.
Well, I said he could come on. I gave him approval. Doesn't that count?
Sure, Senator Kennedy. We'll make time for you. We'll try to squeeze you in before the show's over. First question with Mr. John yesterday talking about the government shutdown. Good God, man, how long is this going to go on? Because my sense is nobody's going to fold. Look, I don't want the Republicans to fold. I don't want the president to fold. And we talk about this in the interview. I wish the Republicans who control both houses of the legislature for a little longer, I wish they would throw their weight around a bit more. And that's kind of where we started with Senator Kennedy. This is a mess. How much longer is this going to go on?
We're into our fifth or sixth day. I hope I'm wrong, but I think we're going to be shut down for a while. It's about 30% of the federal government. And I say that, meaning that I think we'll be shut down for a while, mainly because of the positions taken by Mrs. Pelosi. As you know, she wants to be Speaker of the House. She's not negotiating in good faith with the president about border security because she hasn't been elected Speaker of the House yet. And the new House of Representatives, which will be very liberal, hates President Trump. And Mrs. Pelosi knows that it puts the country first instead of her own politics. She may not be Speaker of the House. What the president is asking for, in my judgment, is perfectly reasonable. He believes that legal immigration is good for America, as do I, and illegal immigration is illegal. And the problem is that our Democratic friends don't distinguish between legal and illegal immigration. In fact, they think that we shouldn't have any border security. They just would let anybody in, and they say that anybody who disagrees with them is a racist. And I think they're wrong.
So
border walls work. They're working right now in San Diego and Yuma and El Paso. They work in Israel. They're working in Saudi Arabia and Bulgaria and India, and I could keep going. Plenty of countries.
But John, if
walls.
you're dealing with Democrats in this case who are total open borders, how do you negotiate with them? This could go on a while.
It could go on a while if it goes until January 3rd, and it may. When the new Congress commences, there'll be a new Democratic liberal majority in the House of Representatives. I expect them to pass some sort of budget opening up government and then send it to the Senate. And we'll just have to take a look and see what's in it. But everybody's entitled to their own opinions on it, but I think the president is right on this one.
John, you made the point a couple of seconds ago about a new Congress, specifically a Democrat-controlled House of Representatives. Right now, and for the next few days, the Republican Party controls the House. The Republican Party controls and will continue to control the Senate.
Yes.
Why hasn't a Republican-controlled Congress moved to side with the president? Is it Mitch McConnell is who I'm thinking of off the top of my head. Why hasn't the Republican-controlled Congress done what the president wants?
We have tried. We don't have 60 votes. We have probably 51 or 52 votes. I think all Republicans will, well, maybe not all. Senator Flake may not, and a couple others. But most Republicans, 99% of them in the Senate, support the president's position on border security. But 51, 50 votes, 52 votes are not enough. We have to have 60, which means we have to have anywhere from 7 to 10 Democrats join with us, and they're just not going to do it.
Pardon me, John. Do you really have to have the 60? Why can't you do what is referred to as nuclear option to stop filibuster?
Well, you can do that, but if you do that, it's very risky. If the Democrats take control of the Senate at some point, then that would mean that we Republicans in the minority can't do anything to stop them from doing anything they want to. And I can tell you what they would do. I mean, they'd raise taxes through the roof and open up borders and have government take over health care. And so you've got to be very careful. Short term, yeah, it would give us the victory we want, but long term, it could be very dangerous for the American people.
You know, Mr. John, last time we spoke, you had mentioned, and it was right after your announcement that you were not going to seek the governor's office here in Louisiana. And you said that you had spoken to the president, and you speak with the president, you said, with relative frequency. Have you spoken with him since the shutdown? What are his thoughts? What's going on behind the scenes?
I have not talked to the president since the shutdown. I have talked to the vice president about it. And he says the president is resolute, that he believes in border security. I think most Americans believe in border security. Walls work. You don't hear anybody, particularly the Democrats, debating the merits of a border wall because they know that border walls work. The walls that we have now are working. When we put up a wall in, for example, in El Paso, illegal immigration dropped 95%. Same thing happened, virtually the same thing happened when we put up a wall in San Diego and Yuma. But I will say this, Democratic friends are very consistent. If Trump's for it, they're against it. I mean, if you look, the president, as you know, is going to withdraw our 2,000 troops from Syria. The Democrats are just bashing him over it. Well, for years, they have taken the position that we ought to get out of Syria, get out of Iraq, get out of Afghanistan. When the president bombed Assad in Syria for using chemical weapons, the Democrats, they were all over it. No, this is horrible. You violated the War Powers Act. Well, Trump gets out of Syria, and now they're bashing him for getting out of Syria. I mean, we're neck deep in a hypocrisy here.
I suspect that things are going to. Let me start that question over again. How far into the new Congress do you think it'll be before a deal's done, if at all? Do you see middle of January, 1st of February? Are you optimistic at all? Your quote was, and this is another awesome quote from Senator Kennedy, the government will get fixed if people take their meds and work in good faith.
It's true.
Given a lack of good faith, how many meds are in Washington, D.C.?
I think it's going to take a while. I hope I'm wrong. I hope that some of my Democratic friends put the politics aside and negotiate in good faith. But I don't see any indication from Senator Schumer, and more to the point, Mrs. Pelosi, that they're willing to do that. Mrs. Pelosi is running the show. Chuck Schumer pretty much deferring to her. And they just do not want to give the president any sort of victory. I mean, I meant it. It's not an exaggeration. The Democrats are very consistent. If Trump wants it, they are against it. Doesn't matter what it is.
101.7 FM, 710 KEEL, and the KEEL app, a free download from Office Furniture Source. Friday morning traffic update. A, I'm glad I got the day right. B, here's Ruben.
Starting things off looking nice and clear for your early morning drive to work, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on Uri Drive near East Kings Highway. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Well, our next storm is back in New Mexico, and it will approach us tomorrow, ramping up the rain chances for tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow night. Sunshine here today at 57, clear tonight, low 36. Clouds rolling in with a rain chance late in the day tomorrow, 52. Rain showers likely Sunday, high 50. Richard Wettig, the Weather Channel.
23 past 6 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL Sports Update. Here's Tim.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. Duke scored 42 unanswered points to catch and then run away from Temple to win the 43rd walk-ons. Independence Bowl 56-27. The Owls led 27-14 after Broderick Yancey's 8-yard touchdown run with 4:26 to go in the second quarter. Daniel Jones capped a 10-play, 75-yard drive with a 22-yard touchdown toss to T.J. Rahming before going to the locker room. And then, on the opening drive of the third quarter, Jones punched it in from 1 yard out to give Duke a 28-27 lead, erasing that 2-touchdown deficit. And that was just the beginning, though. Duke also scored touchdowns on their next 5 possessions as well to run head coach David Cutcliffe's Indy Bowl record to 4-0. Jones set Independence Bowl records with 423 yards passing and 5 touchdown tosses, as well as 6 overall. And Rahming set the new mark with 240 yards receiving and tied the I-Bowl record with 12 catches. Wisconsin beat Miami 35-3 in the New Era Pinstripe Bowl, and Baylor knocked off Vanderbilt 45-38 in the Academy of Sports Texas Bowl, the SEC's first bowl game. LSU arrived in Arizona for next week's Fiesta Bowl matchup with Central Florida a little lighter than expected. Cornerback Kelvin Joseph and offensive lineman Dari Rosenthal both are suspended and did not make the trip. That means that's 3 cornerbacks that the Tigers have scratched from their original depth chart for the game. Greedy Williams out of Calvary Baptist is heading to the NFL, and Christian Fulton is still recovering from ankle surgery. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty, 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. That KEEL app is always a free download from Office Furniture Source. Short segment here. We'll talk about the Independence Bowl, some other stuff in about 10 minutes. I just ordered Let It Be off eBay for about 15 or 16 bucks.
You owe me.
I kind of do. I told you that give them a little background what we're talking about.
Well, Robert said he was going to give me some records. Then he ended up charging me, which is fine. Not that big of a deal.
I said I've got a whole stack of. First of all, and we talked about this a little bit, I think, on Monday, is that we know people in radio who have been in radio like 20 or 25 or 30 years, or maybe more, maybe less, who, like our friend Paul in New Orleans, he has probably between 5,000 and 7,000 vinyl LPs, vinyl albums. I know people that own probably, dozens of people who have at least 1,000 or 2,000. I, after 40 plus years in radio, have collected 23 or 24. And Matt wanted to look at them. And so I told him what was in there, and he said, I'll buy them from you. And I brought them in, and he said, we settled on a price, and he took them home. And then he texts me and he says, they're all warped.
Yeah, you sold me a bill of goods, man. Look at this pretty cover. Oh, just don't look at the blackness in the inside.
And I guess one of the ones that was warped, they were all warped? Is that what you're telling me?
Every one I've pulled out so far have been warped. Most of them haven't been unplayable, except for Let It Be, which looked like a ashtray by the time I pulled it out of the cover.
So most are still playable.
Yeah.
So I don't need to be overly racked with guilt. But as it goes around thine turntable, you can see whoop, 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 whoop,
Yeah.
whoop, whoop. Oh,
There's definitely
man.
some background noise.
And I said, well, let me know, given that you paid a very fair amount for those. I said, tell me what of that amount I should give you back. And you said, no, blah, 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 blah. But I really was hoping for that Let It Be. I went on eBay already this morning and got him a copy of Let It Be.
Such a nice feller, making up for ripping off a friend.
28 past 6 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. The official announcement for the official attendance yesterday.
Oof.
What?
It was just brutal. We'll get into that here in a few minutes.
Wait. No, see? I disagree 100%. We're talking about the walk-ons Independence Bowl attendance. That the official announced attendance was around 27,000 and something. Mm-hmm. But you could look at it and you can see it wasn't quite that amount. So let's say it was 22. Let's be generous. You tell me, how many people do you think were there? 22, 23?
18.
So let's say it's 20,000 for the sake of our discussion. When we come back, the real butts in seats, as McCarty says. The real butts in seats attendance was 20,000. I will explain to you why that was not only good, but outstanding when we come back. When we come back. 29 past 6 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Local news just a couple of seconds away from the struggling McCarty. Traffic update now. Here's Ruben.
Starting things off looking nice and clear for your early morning drive to work, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on Uri Drive near East Kings Highway. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Well, our next storm is back in New Mexico, and it will approach us tomorrow, ramping up the rain chances for tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow night. Sunshine here today at 57, clear tonight, low 36. Clouds rolling in with a rain chance late in the day tomorrow, 52. Rain showers likely Sunday, high 50. Richard Wettig, the Weather Channel.
The power of information. KEEL News now.
Shreveport officially gets a new mayor tomorrow, Adrian Perkins, to have a busy Saturday as he goes from mayor-elect to mayor. Perkins to be sworn in as Shreveport's new mayor at the convention center at 9:30 in the morning. Then at 7 p.m., there'll be a black tie mayor's gala. Both events are free and open to the public. It was a record-breaking Indy Bowl. Matt Parker has that.
Shreveport set a world record Thursday at the Walk-Ons Independence Bowl. Famous chef John Foles cooked up a Guinness World Record-breaking pot of gumbo as part of the pregame festivities. The gumbo, featuring everything from gator to crawfish, weighed in at a whopping 6,800 pounds, shattering the previous record by 1,000 pounds. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
Willis Knighton has announced that former Shreveport Chief Administrative Officer Brian Crawford has a new job. He'll be their Senior Vice President and CAO. Crawford takes over on January 9th. He submitted his letter of resignation to Mayor Tyler prior to the December runoff election. Fees will be doubling in the new year at Cypress Black Bayou Park in Benton. The park raising entry fees from $2 a person to $4. There'll also be fee increases for boat permits, camping passes, and more. This is the first time in over a decade that the park has raised fees for users. According to the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial Fund, the number of officers who died in the line of duty nationwide this year increased by 12% over the previous year, a total of 144. CEO for the organization, Chris Floyd, says of the 4 officers killed in Louisiana, 1 was struck by a vehicle, 1 in a motorcycle crash, and 2 died in automobile crashes, making traffic-related accidents a great concern.
All 4 Louisiana fatalities were traffic-related, and that is the second leading cause of death this year among officers nationwide.
While the number of deaths may have increased from last year compared to the average of the last 10 years, the number is slightly below average. The government shutdown now into day 6. Senator John Kennedy says negotiations have stalled, and it's looking increasingly unlikely they'll have the votes to pass a budget that includes border wall funding. Democrats say they'll refuse to sign any budget that pays for the president's border wall. Kennedy blames the impasse on internal party politics surrounding potential Speaker Nancy Pelosi.
She wants to be Speaker of the House. She's not negotiating in good faith with the president about border security because she hasn't been elected Speaker of the House yet.
Governor Edwards says the shutdown is shameful and needs to be solved quickly in a bipartisan manner. The mother of an 8-year-old Guatemalan boy who died in U.S. custody says she spoke with her son the day before he and his father arrived at the U.S. border. Catarina Alonso Perez says he wasn't sick on the way, he wasn't sick here. New Mexico authorities say an autopsy performed on the child shows he had the flu. Michelle Obama named the most admired woman in the U.S. She replaces Hillary Clinton at the top of the list. Barack Obama, also the most admired man in the country. Donald Trump is at number 2. The 4th year in a row he's at that spot. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
.101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. Shreveport Security Systems text line 318-392-1884. Bowl attendances thus far. This is from Roy Lang, okay? Bowl attendances thus far. Armed Forces Bowl, Fort Worth. Now, as I read these to you, and I'll make my point in the next segment, but as I read these attendances at bowl games in different municipalities, I want you to tell me just off the top of your head what the metro population is, okay? So, Armed Forces Bowl, Fort Worth. What's Dallas-Fort Worth got? 10 million?
Probably at least.
Okay, 44,700. In a metro population of what?
10 million.
10 million. Pinstripe Bowl. That was the one played at Yankee Stadium. Pinstripe Bowl, New York City. 37,800 is all they had. What's the metro population of New York City? 20 million.
At least.
Okay. 20 million. They had 37,000. Las Vegas Bowl, 37,100. Vegas is about a 1.5 million, 2 million. It's a pretty small market for a team, for a metropolitan area that's going to have an NFL team next year.
They got a lot of visitors.
The Cheez-Its Bowl in Phoenix, 33,000. Phoenix is about, 4 million, maybe 5 metro? It's a pretty big area.
Yeah.
Dollar General Bowl, Mobile, Alabama, 31,800. Mobile is a little bit bigger than Shreveport, certainly not a metro of 1 million. The Hawaii Bowl in Honolulu, 30,900. That's about 1 million people, but a lot of tourists also. Although, I got to tell you, I'm just not sure tourists go to football games. I mean, if you want to look at a bowl that is disappointed or must have to be disappointed in their turnout, it's the one in Orlando that they had. The Cure Bowl, that was it. I mean, that place was a parking lot. That place there was nobody there, but it's in Orlando. They've got a metro of nearly 2.5 million. Yeah, but it's a tourist spot. You know, it's a service economy. Wait, what does that have in common with Shreveport? It's a service economy, and it's a bunch of tourists. I'm not going to Orlando to go to a football game. Let's see. Hawaii Bowl, Honolulu, 30,000. Independence Bowl, Shreveport, Louisiana, 27,492. What's our metro? Let's go to break. We'll talk about this more when we get back because I've got a... What? You're blowing snot out your nose. What?
Nothing. We'll get to it. We'll get there. Just a bit disappointed, that's all.
Why?
I know what we had. I'm just saying it should have been better.
Okay, but things change. You're looking back to pre-Riverboat.
Even last year, we had a better attendance. Year before that, we had a better attendance. Every year for the past decade, we've had a better attendance. And we've had equally as bad teams.
Hold your horses. Get you a Kleenex. We'll talk when we get back. 101.7 FM, 710 Keel, 639. Ruben's here.
Starting things off looking nice and clear for your early morning drive to work, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on Uri Drive near East Kings Highway. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Well, our next storm is back in New Mexico, and it will approach us tomorrow, ramping up the rain chances for tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow night. Sunshine here today at 57, clear tonight, low 36. Clouds rolling in with a rain chance late in the day tomorrow, 52. Rain showers likely Sunday, high 50. Richard Wettig, the Weather Channel.
Woo! Ooh, speaking of hockey tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Who do the Mudbugs play tonight? Not Amarillo. Who is it? Is it?
I think it might be Amarillo. Are they the Ice Rays?
No, that's Corpus Christi.
Then we got Corpus Christi.
101.7 FM. Game time 7-11, by the way. 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. Okay, there have been thus far 18 bowl games played. All right? In scheme of attendance, we are 7th out of 18 in attendance. We put more people at the Independence Bowl yesterday, 27,492. We did more than the Frisco Bowl in Frisco, Texas, metro population 10 million. The Gasparilla Bowl in Tampa. What's Tampa? About 2 or 3 million?
At least.
Orlando. We doubled Orlando, and Orlando has a metro of about 2 or 2.5. Boca Raton, Florida, meh. New Orleans, the New Orleans Bowl, 23,000, did better than New Orleans. Birmingham, 25,000, did better. The Quick Lane Bowl in Detroit, a metro of a couple or 3 million, 27,000. We had 27,492, they had 27,228. So you're looking at me as though something came horribly off the rails. Tell me why you think that 27,000, and let's accept that as the number of tickets sold. It's like anything else. It's not everybody's going to show, but let's assume for the moment that the 27,400 and some odd is the number of tickets sold. Why are you disappointed? Why do you think that's bad?
You know what Dallas and New Orleans and all those places don't need? A bowl game. They have tons of other stuff. You know what Shreveport doesn't have? Other stuff. We should be out full force every time we have something cool like the Independence Bowl. And in past years, we have been. I mean, just looking through the past few years, 33,000, 38,000, 41, 41, 49. I mean, people will occasionally turn up, but we need to do it consistently so we don't lose one of the few awesome things we have. Because New Orleans is going to be awesome whether they have a bowl game or not.
Do you really think, to ESPN and walk-ons even, do you think the attendance is really a matter of, or is it about the number of eyes on TV?
Well, to walk-ons and ESPN, obviously it's about eyes on TV. But you know what? Who doesn't care about eyes on TV? The city of Shreveport. I mean, they're not making a whole lot of money off the TV deal. They need attendance.
A couple of points. One, and I'm thinking over, I'm reconsidering saying this or not saying this, but I'm going to go ahead. If the people, the majority of people, I think this is fair. The majority of people on social media yesterday and today who are bashing Shreveport for a low turnout at the Independence Bowl are, for the most part, people who get their tickets, their parking, and their food for free. Is that fair?
I think that's a fairly accurate statement.
Point number two, and I'm not going to mention names because this was said to us in this room, but sort of not off the record, but I think it's better we don't attach a name, but you'll know who it is when I start talking about it. There is somebody who was in this room going back maybe a year or so, and they are in sales and marketing. Now, follow me on this, okay? And think about, as I explain this to you, think about the markets, the metropolitan populations of some of the other cities that have had bowl games that are way bigger than Shreveport. New York City, Atlanta, Birmingham, Orlando, the list goes on, but I digress. And this person said to us he's in sales and marketing. And he said, when you look at the metro of Shreveport and Bossier City, when you look at the four-parish area, give or take, Caddo, Bossier, DeSoto, and Webster, he said you're looking at a metropolitan population of about 225 to 230,000. Here's the key. Pay attention. He said there's a metro population of about 225 to 230,000. But when it comes to selling things, you're talking about a target audience of about 120,000. So let's assume for the moment that's true. This is somebody we both know.
Mm-hmm.
You know, do you know who I'm talking about?
I do.
Okay. And we both respect that person immensely.
Mm-hmm.
So if we're looking for the Independence Bowl at a metro population of 225 or 30,000, but at people who are really going to go out and buy tickets and spend money because of the economic demographic, because of the economic makeup of our community, if you're looking at an audience of only, a potential audience of only 120,000, and we put 20,000 people in those seats yesterday, let's say 20,000 and not 27. Let's say they sold 27, 20,000 people showed up. You with me?
Mm-hmm.
If 20,000 people out of a target audience of 120,000 showed up yesterday, we put almost 20% of our potential audience in that stadium yesterday. That's pretty damn good.
It's not bad. Look, I don't want to sound like I'm crapping on the Independence Bowl.
No, I get your point. It would be great if we had 35 or 40 or 45.
Well, but
you know what we don't have is LSU and Notre Dame or LSU and Michigan State or Louisiana Tech and Maryland anymore.
I mean, a couple of years ago, we had Arizona and Boston College. Not exactly hotbeds of I mean,
you wouldn't think they'd travel.
Yeah, and there was 40,000 people. Almost, 41,000.
What year was that, please?
It was 2013.
Okay.
But my point is, the Independence Bowl is one of the few last bowl games that's not owned by ESPN. This isn't like some they're trying to fill TV time with us. They're trying to get rid of us because they don't own us. If we want to stay viable, if we want to stay in the community, if we want to keep bringing in this where we get teams occasionally that do travel well and we get all that tourism money in. Maybe this year wasn't the greatest for that, but past years have been and future years will be. If we want to keep doing that, we ourselves have to support the game. Because like you said, there's 120 some odd thousand people with money that they can buy tickets. Don't get it for free. Buy your tickets. Go to the game. Buy some stuff from concession stands, because if you don't, as soon as you start losing that, you're chipping away pieces of our community.
Ain't arguing, kid, but when you're looking at a target audience, a target demo of only 120,000 people, and you put 20,000, if you put 40,000 in, that's 1/3 of the people in your community.
Hey, those people are paying money to go to high school football games. They'll spend money to drive down to Baton Rouge for LSU. How about we support something that's in our community? That's all I'm saying.
101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty, 648. Traffic and let's do traffic and weather now. 2, 3, 4. He loads the sounder. Traffic update. Here's Ruben.
Looks like I-49 South's got to clear all the way to Alexandria right now, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on I-20 westbound near Spring and Market. If you have anything to report to us, give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
Our next storm is back in New Mexico, and it will approach us tomorrow, ramping up the rain chances for tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow night. Sunshine here today at 57, clear tonight, low 36. Clouds rolling in with a rain chance late in the day tomorrow, 52. Rain showers likely Sunday, high 50. Richard Wettigan, the Weather Channel.
Leaders from the local community, the state, and the nation. We have them all.
Hey, this is Stephen Wagasback with the Louisiana Association of Business and Industry, and I love kicking off my day listening to Robert and Erin in the morning. Real talk to real people.
We are KEEL. 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Don't forget Your Money Now, brought to us every single time by Barksdale Federal Credit Union. 652 Sports Update on KEEL. Here's Fletch.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. Duke scored 42 unanswered points to catch and then run away from Temple to win the 43rd walk-ons. Independence Bowl 56-27. The Owls led 27-14 after Broderick Yancey's 8-yard touchdown run with 4:26 to go in the second quarter. Daniel Jones capped a 10-play, 75-yard drive with a 22-yard touchdown toss to T.J. Rahming before going to the locker room. And then, on the opening drive of the third quarter, Jones punched it in from 1 yard out to give Duke a 28-27 lead, erasing that 2-touchdown deficit. And that was just the beginning, though. Duke also scored touchdowns on their next 5 possessions as well to run head coach David Cutcliffe's Indy Bowl record to 4-0. Jones set Independence Bowl records with 423 yards passing and 5 touchdown tosses, as well as 6 overall. And Roming set the new mark with 240 yards receiving and tied the I-Bowl record with 12 catches. Wisconsin beat Miami 35-3 in the New Era Pinstripe Bowl, and Baylor knocked off Vanderbilt 45-38 in the Academy of Sports Texas Bowl, the SEC's first bowl game. LSU arrived in Arizona for next week's Fiesta Bowl matchup with Central Florida a little lighter than expected. Cornerback Kelvin Joseph and offensive lineman Dari Rosenthal both are suspended and did not make the trip. That means that's 3 cornerbacks that the Tigers have scratched from their original depth chart for the game. Greedy Williams out of Calvary Baptist is heading to the NFL, and Christian Fulton is still recovering from ankle surgery. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
.101.7 FM, 710 Keel, Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty, 656. Coming up just after 7 o'clock, more on the Independence Bowl. You know, you're making a couple of good points for a man with so little experience. No, you're an old soul, wise. How's this? You're an old soul, wise beyond your years. For a man of 30 or 31, you're beaten down, battered by life in ways that people can only imagine. How is that?
That works, I guess.
656, here's Rush on Keel.
Democrat mega-donor George Soros skirted disaster this week. He told the Washington Post that he hopes New York Democrat Senator Kirsten Gillibrand does not win the Democrat presidential nomination in 2020. You see, Soros blames Gillibrand for pushing her colleague Al Franken out of his Senate seat over sexual harassment allegations. Soros says that Gillibrand only went after Franken to help herself politically. Well, it didn't take long for the Me Too wing of the Democrat Party to blow up. And they're now calling Soros, who's one of the most generous donors in party history, a sexist pig. And they're warning other Democrats they better not agree with Soros if they know what's good for them. This week, the Me Too Democrats have had to swallow a lot from their madmen. Not only did their favorite billionaire, George Soros, go off half-cocked about Franken, Bill Clinton was interviewed by Judy Woodruff, who asked him about Franken, And his answer was a doozy. He said that norms have really changed in terms of what you can do to people against their will. Spoken like a true champ, Slick Willie, of the Democrat madmen generation. That just boggles my mind. And it took 2 days for anybody to remember he had said it. 2 days.
If you've ever experienced heart racing, shortness of breath, or dizziness, it's possible you could have atrial fibrillation, one of the leading causes of stroke. Find out before it's too late with KardioMobile, the FDA-cleared personal EKG device that's just $99. To order, visit Kardia.com. That's KARDIA.com. KardioMobile fits in your pocket, so you can take an EKG anytime, anywhere, right when you feel a symptom. KardioMobile delivers a medical-grade EKG right to your smartphone. In just 30 seconds, you'll know if your heart rhythm is normal or if atrial fibrillation is detected. To order KardioMobile today for just $99, visit Kardia.com. That's KARDIA.com. Take unlimited EKGs morning, noon, or night, so you can always know how your heart is doing. KardioMobile puts peace of mind in your pocket for only $99. Order yours today. Visit Kardia.com. That's KARDIA.com.
Looking right now at some slow-moving traffic on West 70th Street near Linwood Avenue, and we have some traffic delays on Texas Street in downtown Shreveport. If you have anything to report to us, give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Our next storm is back in New Mexico, and it will approach us tomorrow, ramping up the rain chances for tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow night. Sunshine here today at 57, clear tonight, low 36. Clouds rolling in with a rain chance late in the day tomorrow, 52. Rain showers likely Sunday, high 50. Richard Wettigan, the Weather Channel.
Breaking news and trending talk. This is 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. KEEL, Shreveport.
Just after 7 o'clock, Robert and Erin, 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. Miss Erin has local news in just a couple of seconds. What's coming up? I know that the mayoral inaugural is, good gosh, is that tomorrow?
That's tomorrow morning.
A new mayor like tomorrow morning at 9:30. What else is coming up?
We'll have all the details on that. It was a record-breaking Indy Bowl, which was kind of cool. We'll have some details on that. And former city CAO Brian Crawford, he's got a new gig.
When I was walking through my mathematical demographic population breakdown in the 6 o'clock hour, I'm getting a couple of texts. People think I'm stupid. I'll walk through it again. It makes sense to me. Did it make sense to you at least a little bit?
Yes.
I can explain why the bowl game yesterday and the attendance in the scheme of not only other bowls, but for us was pretty damn good. Fletcher in sports, traffic, and weather, it's all coming up this hour, and it's right here on KEEL.
The power of information. KEEL News now.
The government shutdown now headed into its 7th day. Senator John Kennedy says a bill with wall money narrowly cleared the House but is stuck in the Senate, where it needs 60 votes. Many conservative advocates have called on Republican leaders to exercise the nuclear option that would allow items to pass the Senate with only a 51-vote majority. But
if you do that, it's very risky. If the Democrats take control of the Senate at some point, then that would mean that we Republicans in the minority can't do anything to stop them.
Governor Edwards says the shutdown is shameful and needs to be solved quickly in a bipartisan manner. Shreveport officially gets a new mayor tomorrow. Adrian Perkins will have a busy day as he goes from mayor-elect to mayor of our city. Perkins to be sworn in as mayor at the convention center at 9:30 in the morning. Then at 7 p.m., there's a black tie mayor's gala. Both events are free and open to the public. The former city CAO has a new job. Matt Parker with that.
Willis Knighton Health has announced that former Shreveport Chief Administrative Officer Brian Crawford has been appointed as their Senior Vice President and CAO. Crawford will take over the post on January 9th. Crawford submitted a letter of resignation to Mayor Tyler prior to the December runoff election. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
If you use the Cypress Black Bayou Park in Benton, well, the fees are going up from $2 a person to $4 a person with the new year. There'll also be a fee increase for boat permits, camping passes, and more. It's the first time in over a decade that the park has raised fees on users. Severe weather across the nation created blizzard-like conditions in the Midwest and flooding rain in the Southeast. U.S. National Weather Service meteorologist Brian Hurley gives the latest on snow amounts in the Dakotas and Minnesota so far.
Much of the snow has already fallen across the upper Midwest and northern plains. Well, we saw anywhere from 10 to as much as nearly 20 inches of snow. 20 inches of snow over in portions of Minnesota. So quite a bit of snow with that and blizzard conditions as well. But again, the snowfall with this system will also continue to abate as a low-pressure system moves into Canada.
The National Weather Service has gotten reports of whiteout conditions in many areas. Talk about making a ton of gumbo. The Lieutenant Governor's office says John Foltz has cooked up 6,800 pounds of the signature soup for charity and a Guinness World Record. Lieutenant Governor Nungesser says the Guinness representative was in town in Shreveport where the 1,068-gallon pot bubbled during tailgating before Duke and Temple played in the Thursday Independence Bowl. What did it have in it? 983 pounds of shrimp, 590 pounds of catfish, 299 pounds of crab, 262 pounds of alligator, 111 pounds of oysters, and 33 pounds of crawfish, rice, spices, and broth. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
.101.7 FM, 710 KEEL, 9 past 7 o'clock traffic update for Friday. Here's Ruben.
Still keeping an eye on some slow-moving traffic on Texas Street in downtown Shreveport, and we have some traffic delays on Old Minden Road near Airline Drive in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Well, our next storm is back in New Mexico, and it will approach us tomorrow, ramping up the rain chances for tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow night. Sunshine here today at 57, clear tonight, low 36. Clouds rolling in with a rain chance late in the day tomorrow, 52. Rain showers likely Sunday, high 50. Richard Wettigan, the Weather Channel.
.101.7 FM, 710 KEEL, Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. Almost 2019. Holy cow. Holy cow, 2019. I said to you yesterday, when I was a kid growing up, all I could think was, every time I would think about the year 2000, I would think, oh my God, I'm going to be 48 years old in the year 2000. That's really, really old and a long time away. The year 2000, Y2K, we're going to crash. The power is going to go out across the world. It's going to be a disaster. And that was like almost 20 years ago. Did you ever think this about Y2K? And I'm being totally serious. Remember how frightened, how panicked everybody was because the computers were going to roll over and screw everything up and who knew what was going to happen and everything everywhere was going to crash?
Mm-hmm.
And then nothing happened and everybody was like making fun of everybody that was all nervous and stuff.
Everybody was all nervous.
What if we came? What if it was like we came within this much? My fingers are less than an inch apart. What if we came within this much of a total civilizational breakdown? and they just never told us? What if it was one of those where the guy just at the last, like in James Bond in Goldfinger, okay, when there's the bomb at Fort Knox, and he's just killed Oddjob, where he's electrocuted Oddjob, and now he's trying to stop the bomb, and it stops at 007. Whew. What if we came that close, and we just never really knew?
That's a fair enough point. The government doesn't tell us a lot.
They tell us everything. You know that.
Yeah. Here's American Gladiators. Go back to bed.
I have been complaining all this week a little bit. Here's the deal. If you've watched the HBO show The Shop, and it's a show they gave to LeBron James, and it's basically it's like based in the set is a barber shop. So it's a bunch of people sitting around getting their haircut talking, like frank talk. And the most recent has LeBron James and Todd Gurley of the Rams, NFL running back. Jimmy Kimmel is on there. By the way, he got about 9 minutes in before he started trashing Trump. Here was the deal. I can't watch Bill Maher on HBO. It just pisses me off too fast. I just can't watch it. I just get so angry so fast.
I get that.
Compared to the Bill Maher show, The Shop makes Bill Maher look like Tucker Carlson. And there were a couple of things that were said in a more that I had read online that were said in the most recent edition and the most recent episode of The Shop that I wanted to hear for myself to see if they weren't taken out of context. And so I had said to myself, I am going to sit here and I am going to watch it. No matter what happens, no matter what they say, no matter how far left, radically anti-Trump, America's a horrible place, they say, I'm going to sit through it. And the first time I got about 6 minutes in and I literally could not do it. It was on again last night. And I said, okay, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to watch it and I'm going to sit on my hands. I put the remote control way across the room. And they got about, like I said, with Kimmel, about 8.5 or 9 minutes in before they started trashing Trump. But what I really wanted to see was the LeBron James remark that he made to Todd Gurley of the Rams. And you know the one I'm talking about because we kind of talked it off the air and you started, once again, little snot bubbles, pardon me. And it was the LeBron James remark that NFL owners have a slave owner mentality. Now, I can tell from the look on your face that you adamantly disagree.
I do.
That you're kind of thinking, wait a second, here's a bunch of guys sitting in front of a bunch of TV cameras. They have their own TV show, and they're all making $100 million over the life of their current contract, complaining about whatever. That's not how I want you to do it.
Okay.
I want you for 30 seconds to explain to me why LeBron James would say that NFL owners have a slave owner mentality. Defend to me what he said.
Oh, that's easy. The reason he says it is he's an NBA player. There's not a whole lot of rules for NBA stars, and that's on the court, off the court. I mean, just look. We saw, what was it, last week, James Harden take 5 steps up the middle without dribbling the ball, hit a shot, and the refs. In the NFL, there's rules, there's structures. You have to follow coaches' systems. You have to listen to the instructions of your boss, the owner. I mean, it's not a free-for-all like the NBA is.
Do you think to some point he was also referring to the fact that all the NFL contracts, they don't have guaranteed money? That they don't have guaranteed... And do you understand from his point of view and from specifically NFL players' point of view how they might go, wait a second, NBA guys, they get guaranteed money. Baseball guys, they get guaranteed money.
Some NFL players do get guaranteed money.
Well, they get it up front. The big bonus money is up front. But go ahead.
Well, like Kirk Cousins' contract is almost entirely guaranteed, and that's a huge contract. But I get sort of LeBron's stance of, because he's an NBA, like I said, he's an NBA player. It's a completely different world. So he looks at them. He's like, so they're not like just giving you guys hundreds of millions of dollars, and there's rules to follow, and you can't just say whatever you want with no consequence.
And it's because NFL guys, their careers, because of the physicality of the sport, Their careers are so much shorter, and so many players over the course of a season are injured. And if they had guaranteed contracts, not for the season, but beyond the season in which they're injured, do you understand? Do you think he grasps that NFL owners would be paying an exorbitant amount to players to not play? Chances of getting of a career-ending injury in baseball or even the NBA are so markedly less than they are in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
So the risk for an owner to give a player guaranteed money in basketball or baseball, chances are they're going to fulfill the life of that contract, as opposed to the NFL.
Absolutely.
Now, here's the problem. If LeBron James says that National Football League owners have a slave owner mentality toward the players, is he saying that NFL owners have a slave mentality toward black players, white players, or all players? I suspect when LeBron made those statements, he wasn't thinking about injured white guys in the NFL. Point two, the reason the contracts under the current collective bargaining agreement are not guaranteed is because the NFL players, under the aegis, having given the authority to their players' union, signed the collective bargaining deal. So my question is this: when LeBron says that the NFL owners have a slave owner's mentality, is he also being just as critical of not necessarily the players' union, but the president, the boss of the players' union, a black man named DeMaurice Smith? And is he, in effect, condemning not only the current collective bargaining agreement, but the actions taken in leading those players into that collective bargaining agreement by black man DeMaurice Smith? And is he circuitously, in saying that the NFL owners have a slave owner's mentality, is he in fact, and honestly, as an African American, is there a worse insult than saying, is LeBron circuitously saying that DeMaurice Smith, the head of the players' union, is really nothing more than Samuel Jackson's character in Django Unchained? Is he saying that the NFL players' union, led by an African American, has sold out the NFL players? I think the case says yes. 19 past 7 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL traffic update. Now, here's Ruben.
Still keeping an eye on some slow-moving traffic on Texas Street in downtown Shreveport, and we have some traffic delays on Old Minden Road near Airline Drive in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Well, our next storm is back in New Mexico, and it will approach us tomorrow, ramping up the rain chances for tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow night. Sunshine here today at 57, clear tonight, low 36. Clouds rolling in with a rain chance late in the day tomorrow, 52. Rain showers likely Sunday, high 50. Richard Wettigan, the Weather Channel.
1017 FM, 710 Keel, Robert and Erin. I have some great photos. I'll put them on the website later, keelnews.com, of the gumbo thing yesterday. That's we got the record, right?
We did.
We have
by
the
1,000 pounds.
By 1,000. We put it out there, buddy. We were the Bob Beeman jump of gumbo cooking. Holy cow. If you didn't see, okay, I'm just going to run this down. We now, at yesterday's Walk-Ons Independence Bowl, the city of Shreveport, Louisiana, now holds the Guinness Book of World Records for gumbo cooking, right? The biggest pot of gumbo with, I guess, the most people served. If you didn't see how big this was, and I got to tell you, I saw it. I mean, by the time I got over there, they'd kind of shut it down because they did it earlier on, like at 10 or 10:30, 11 in the morning. I thought it'd be bigger. It's like Patrick Swayze in Roadhouse. I thought you'd be bigger. Seriously. Here's what was in yesterday's gumbo.
Oh, God, this ingredient list.
985 pounds of shrimp peeled and deveined. It's a half a ton of shrimp. 600 pounds catfish fillets. Who puts catfish in gumbo?
Yeah, I would question that myself. I guess you needed the weight.
234 pounds claw crab meat. 66 pounds lump crab meat. 33 pounds Louisiana crawfish tails. 112 pounds of oysters, and 263 pounds of diced alligator meat. Additional gumbo ingredients. 200 pounds vegetable oil. Matt said. Sounded like my high school graduation. 200 pounds vegetable oil. You did say that.
Yeah.
282 pounds of diced onions. 117 of diced celery. God, is there a more useless vegetable than celery? No, it's part of the Trinity.
Okra.
Say Cajun cookers. 302 pounds of diced green bell peppers. 50 pounds minced garlic. 3,135 pounds of shellfish stock. 262 pounds of roux, and 182 pounds of sausage. So we have the record. Congratulations. A bit later this morning, we'll go through the numbers once again. And the announced attendance for yesterday's game was Walk-Ons Independence Bowl was 27,492. Of the 18, I think was the bowl games. Is it 17 or 18 bowl games played so far? It may be 15 or 16. I apologize. We are like number 6th or 7th in attendance. We had more people at our bowl game yesterday than games in Birmingham or Orlando or New York City or Frisco, Texas. Dallas, a metro population of 10 million people. And they had the Frisco Bowl that drew about 18 or 19,000 people. The point being, in the scheme of it, I think we did pretty good. I think we did okay.
I think we did okay, and I think we could do better, and we'll get into that a little later.
Hold on just a second. I've got a couple and I was going to hold off on these. But we'll read the comments, and then we'll read the social media, the Shreveport Security Systems text line comments, a few of those, 318-392-1884, and we'll get back and comment on these later. Yeah. Listening to your eyeball discussion this morning, I'm thinking I want you to comment on this, but I'm thinking I don't really. Listening to eyeball discussion this morning, I went because somebody gave me tickets. I never buy a ticket. We were charged $15 to park. I feel cheated.
Wah.
What the hell? If ESPN does not own our bowl game and you want a better turnout, then the game day must be moved. But I think you'll find ESPN certainly controls the particulars of our bowl game.
That they do.
Fair enough. So what was the attendance versus capacity of the stadiums the Bulls are playing in? I don't even know what. Bowls are playing in. We kind of covered that in the sense that we did a lot better than a lot of markets that have metro populations of multi-millions. If the bowl game was in the evening or on the weekend, the attendance would certainly be better. I got to agree with that. One more. The current Indy Bowl agreement with the SEC ACC expires next season. If the bowl works, an agreement with the Big 12, Conference USA, Sun Belt, a more regional and more realistic arrangement, I guarantee you'll see an excellent turnout. 29 past 7 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Local news up next. Right now, Ruben, and traffic update.
The intersection at Erie Drive and East 70th Street's dealing with some slow-moving traffic right now. And we have some traffic delays on Shed Road near Airline Drive in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Well, our next storm is back in New Mexico, and it will approach us tomorrow, ramping up the rain chances for tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow night. Sunshine here today at 57, clear tonight, low 36. Clouds rolling in with a rain chance late in the day tomorrow, 52. Rain showers likely Sunday, high 50. Richard Wettigan, the Weather Channel.
The power of information. KEEL News now.
Shreveport officially gets a new mayor tomorrow, Adrian Perkins, to have a busy Saturday as he goes from mayor-elect to mayor. Perkins to be sworn in as Shreveport's new mayor at the Convention Center at 9:30 in the morning. Then at 7 p.m., there'll be a black-tie mayor's gala. Both events are free and open to the public. It was a record-breaking Indy Bowl. Matt Parker has that.
Shreveport set a world record Thursday at the Walk-On's Independence Bowl. Famous chef John Foles cooked up a Guinness World Record-breaking pot of gumbo as part of the pregame festivities. The gumbo, featuring everything from gator to crawfish, weighed in at a whopping 6,800 pounds, shattering the previous record by 1,000 pounds. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
Willis Knighton has announced that former Shreveport Chief Administrative Officer Brian Crawford has a new job. He'll be their Senior Vice President and CAO. Crawford takes over on January 9th. He submitted his letter of resignation to Mayor Tyler prior to the December runoff election. Fees will be doubling in the new year at Cypress Black Bayou Park in Benton. The park raising entry fees from $2 a person to $4. There'll also be fee increases for boat permits, camping passes, and more. This is the first time in over a decade that the park has raised fees for users. According to the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial Fund, the number of officers who died in the line of duty nationwide this year increased by 12% over the previous year, a total of 144. CEO for the organization, Chris Floyd, says of the 4 officers killed in Louisiana, 1 was struck by a vehicle, 1 in a motorcycle crash, and 2 died in automobile crashes, making traffic-related accidents a great concern.
All 4 Louisiana fatalities were traffic-related, and that is the second leading cause of death this year among officers nationwide.
While the number of deaths may have increased from last year compared to the average of the last 10 years, the number is slightly below average. The government shutdown now into day 6. Senator John Kennedy says negotiations have stalled, and it's looking increasingly unlikely they'll have the votes to pass a budget that includes border wall funding. Democrats say they'll refuse to sign any budget that pays for the president's border wall. Kennedy blames the impasse on internal party politics surrounding potential Speaker Nancy Pelosi.
She wants to be Speaker of the House. She's not negotiating in good faith with the president about border security because she hasn't been elected Speaker of the House yet.
Governor Edwards says the shutdown is shameful and needs to be solved quickly in a bipartisan manner. The mother of an 8-year-old Guatemalan boy who died in U.S. custody says she spoke with her son the day before he and his father arrived at the U.S. border. Catarina Alonso Perez says he wasn't sick on the way. He wasn't sick here. New Mexico authorities say an autopsy performed on the child shows he had the flu. Michelle Obama named the most admired woman in the U.S. She replaces Hillary Clinton at the top of the list. Barack Obama, also the most admired man in the country. Donald Trump is at number 2. The 4th year in a row he's at that spot. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
.101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Robert and Erin. KEEL app, a free download from Office Furniture Source. So the Perkins inaugural, the Perkins swearing in, new Mayor Adrian Perkins for the next 24 hours or so, Mayor-elect Adrian Perkins, tomorrow morning at 9:30. Have I got that right?
Yep.
Saturday morning, tomorrow, 9:30.
Shreveport Convention Center, if you plan on going, it is open to the public.
The actual inaugural takes place
at 9:30 at the Shreveport Convention Center.
Does it really?
Yeah.
They don't do it like in an office? It's a big public open thing.
Yeah, so anybody can attend. You just have to, they ask for you to wear business attire.
Now, how about tomorrow night? How about the big inaugural ball?
The big gala is at the...
Am I invited to that?
That's open to the public, free of charge. Yeah. You just have to... It's a black tie event, so you have to dress kind of snazzy, but it is open and available for anybody that wants to go.
Pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Now, it was... Let me see. What was Election Day? December 8 was runoff.
Yep.
So we had soon-to-be Mayor Perkins in on Monday morning the 10th.
The 10th, correct.
And I wanted to replay that because he covered basically everything you're going to want to know during the opening days of the soon-to-be brand-new Perkins administration. And Erin started off with, what was it, the first 3 things you want to accomplish. And that was where we picked this up.
First 3 things when you're elected mayor. Fire the police chief was number 1. Second one was audit the water sewer department. Third was funding for the broadband. Still your top 3 today?
Yeah, I would say definitely my top 3. And I talked about funding for the broadband is going to be kind of put into that chief technology officer that I talked about during my acceptance speech. So that chief technology officer, we're already looking at that position. So we've already done some analysis on who would be the strongest person for that position, and we've reached out to some organizations as well that help fund that.
You have some real bright ideas, lots of great plans. We don't have any money. That's what everyone's going to ask you today. They're approving the budget tomorrow. Where do you get the money to fund everything you want to do?
Yeah, well, there'll be a lot of private dollars, but I got to tell you, there's a lot of space in our budget right now. There's a lot of overlap in our city budget that we can get rid of. So we got to be more efficient with our dollars. It's like any household. If you need to pay your bills, you need to cut costs somewhere. So that's how we're going to do it.
But let's talk policing a minute. Ben Raymond is now the substitute chief. Alan Crump is on medical leave as still at chief. What is your plan for dealing with that situation?
Yeah, so we can't do anything because he's protected. Chief Crump is protected under civil service laws, so we can't do anything until about July. That's when we're assuming that he'll step down because he'll max out his pension. And at that point, we're going to convene a commission to help me convene a commission of law enforcement experts to help me choose the next police chief. And Ben Raymond, I've heard great reviews from him in the interim from people around him, so he can throw his name in the hat as well.
But he's not. We talked to Ron Machota about that, who said you could remove a chief for cause while they're on medical leave. But he also said that Raymond was not certified as chief. Will you move in the direction of getting Raymond certified, or do you want to wait?
Well, to your first point, we'll look at every option that we have. I don't think it's right to place a tax burden on the people of Shreveport to be paying for 2 police chiefs. So that addresses the first point. And about the second point, if the interim chief Raymond or substitute chief Raymond he wants to be certified and wants a job, then he has the opportunity just like the other candidates.
Chief Administrative Officer. Lots of rumors going around. There were 2 or 3 names being bandied about pre-election. If you want to tell us, we'd be more than willing to listen. But do you have a date in your head to make those announcements and some others?
No, we haven't set a hard line because we're not. My priority isn't timeline. My priority is getting it right. So we haven't set a hard line. We're early in a transition period. So no,
we got to be looking 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 names that you've been thinking about for a while.
And their names will be tossed in a hat at the right time. But as of now, we're going to make sure we get this right. So sadly, I can't disclose anything further than that.
Sadder for you than me.
Let me follow up on that, because I heard from a couple of people who came to you and asked, could they be considered, and you told them kind of bluntly you weren't making any promises. Can you tell me today you have made no deals with anyone, supported your campaign or not, about positions in city government?
Yes. Absolutely not. This is early in the transition period. We're going to have a very transparent process. As we convene the advisory board for the transition committee, the transition teams, the public will know about it. So just look forward to some press releases this week on timelines, et cetera.
You had made the point a bunch of times during the campaign, in fact, a couple of times in the studio, that in your mind and in the minds of a lot of really smart people, not that you're not, sorry, is that this election was very much maybe more about a generational shift than it was parties or race. You still feel that way?
And looking at it, it absolutely was big for our generation. There's no doubt about that, right? I'm the second youngest mayor of Shreveport, but it was also, I'm proud of the fact that everybody came together. A 64% mandate, everybody came together and wanted change. They wanted something better for our city. So, it means a lot for our generation, but essentially everybody gets a seat at the table now. If millennials didn't have a seat right now, we've just pulled up a seat to the table, and we get to work with everybody.
64%'s a lot. What do you think about that? What did you feel as those returns were coming in?
I'm humbled by it. I'm blown away that the city, wanted to support me in such a strong way, gave me such a mandate, and you better believe we're going to make good on it.
Got a lot of city employees, department heads that are waking up today wondering, will they be a part of your team? I know you want a new CAO, probably a new city attorney. What about other city department heads?
Yeah. So, again, we're really early in the transition process, and we're making sure we build the strongest team. So in some departments, we're very much going to open it up to internal promotion for some people, and also give some department heads an opportunity to interview. I told everybody before, we're not, I'm not promising to do a clean sweep. We're going to make sure that we get the right people in while maintaining institutional knowledge and have the strongest team possible.
What is your message to department heads this morning? You're going to call them in when you take office. Are you going to ask for their resignations? Are you going to ask for them, or are you going to hand them pink slips? What is your plan? Do you know yet?
So my message to them this morning is to continue to work as hard as possible for the city of Shreveport. Again, we're really early in the process, and I'll be speaking with each of them, about their jobs and about what they've done for the city. And, like I said, I'll have the strongest people on my team. So everybody will get an opportunity outside of those certain positions that we're already looking forward to, that we know are critical in going forward.
Swearing in is about 3 weeks away on the 29th, I guess. That's not much time, it seems to me.
No, and I got to point this out. The city of Shreveport is interesting because we don't have transition procedures or documents. So we're building that that kind of institutional knowledge as
Pardon
we
me,
go
when you
along.
say documents, what does that mean? In other words, nobody hands you a schematic and says, here how stuff works?
No, exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying. So today we're doing our documentation request, our formal documentation request to the administration.
Where people get with the mayor's people, and do you get a walkthrough?
Yeah, there is no hard line procedures whatsoever. So not only are we working with a condensed timeline, keep in mind New Orleans had about 5 months of transition.
And you've got 3 weeks.
Yeah, we have 3 weeks, so we're working with a condensed timeline, and we're going to be building those transition procedures so that we can keep city government running smoothly, not just for my administrations, but the administrations to come.
I would think in this regard, military experience will help you greatly.
Yeah, and it does, which is surprised me. Even in the military, when I was commanding my smallest unit of a platoon, you have to have transition documents and procedures in place. It's called a left seat, right seat ride. So when I heard about a city with a $500 million budget and about 200,000 people not having that, it surprised us. But we're going to put in the work. We're going to put in the work to get it done.
You said you would like Mayor Tyler just to remain engaged. She urged her supporters to work with you to unite our city.
Yes.
What has she told you? What have you guys talked about since Saturday? What's the plan? When are you guys meeting?
Yeah, so we haven't spoken yet. We reached out. We kept missing each other.
You have not spoken to her yet?
We have not spoken yet. She reached out. She told us on the news she reached out. We haven't seen. We didn't see it, but we reached out to them as well. So we've been missing each other, but we are gonna speak with her as soon as we possibly can. I think it's very important. And as I said in my speech, the election's over. What's most important is for us to come together. It was her sentiments as well. So we're gonna. I'm confident we'll make good on that promise from both of our ends. So.
You'd like to sit down with her?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I have a lot to learn from her. Again, very grateful for her service to the city.
So it's Saturday night, and returns starting to come in, and the more that come in, it like 65, 35, 60. I think the final was 64, 36. And you're back in the room, the green room, if you will, with your family, friends, advisors, et al. But at some point, you had to have that first moment alone when you knew you had won. When you had that moment, when you're looking in the mirror, when everybody else is gone, when you're surrounded by nobody but you, was it a like, what have I done moment, or yeah, or somewhere in between?
Robert, I'm going to be completely frank right now. I have yet to have that moment. I've been completely focused on this transition and making sure I get this right. I think that's something that I've taken from the military too, not to really dwell on things, but just focus on what you have to execute in front of you. So maybe it'll come tomorrow or weeks ahead, I'm not sure, but as of now, no. I'm just as confident as I was before when I was telling the people of Shreveport what we can accomplish.
What are you most, I'll follow up on his question with this. What are you most concerned with regard to what you may lack in running a city? What is the skill set you're most concerned about that you're going to need the biggest help with?
Just the intricacies of city government, like the small details of city government, because I haven't worked in those positions. So managers don't necessarily have to have the people that run hospitals have MBAs. They aren't doctors. They don't know how to operate. So I'm one of the leaders where I do like to drill down a bit. So that's where my weaknesses are going to be, making sure that I learn and I can go a mile deep within the various departments of the city. And right now, like I said, I can go pretty deep in some departments, but I want to have that kind of universal knowledge to where if I spot a problem, I can go in myself and talk to the people and we can figure it out together.
101.7 FM, 710 Keel, 749. Here's Ruben.
Looking right now at some slow-moving traffic on Kings Highway near Linwood Avenue, and we have some traffic delays on Hamilton Road near East Texas Street in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline at 687-ROAD.
Well, our next storm is back in New Mexico, and it will approach us tomorrow, ramping up the rain chances for tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow night. Sunshine here today at 57, clear tonight, low 36. Clouds rolling in with a rain chance late in the day tomorrow, 52. Rain showers likely Sunday, high 50. Richard Wettigan, the Weather Channel.
1017 FM, 710 Keel. It's 8 before 8 o'clock. Traffic update. No sports update. Tim's here.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. Duke scored 42 unanswered points to catch and then run away from Temple to win the 43rd walk-ons. Independence Bowl 56-27. The Owls led 27-14 after Broderick Yancey's 8-yard touchdown run with 4:26 to go in the second quarter. Daniel Jones capped a 10-play, 75-yard drive with a 22-yard touchdown toss to T.J. Rahming before going to the locker room. And then, on the opening drive of the third quarter, Jones punched it in from 1 yard out to give Duke a 28-27 lead, erasing that 2-touchdown deficit. And that was just the beginning, though. Duke also scored touchdowns on their next 5 possessions as well to run head coach David Cutcliffe's Indy Bowl record to 4-0. Jones set Independence Bowl records with 423 yards passing and 5 touchdown tosses, as well as 6 overall. And Rahming set the new mark with 240 yards receiving and tied the I-Bowl record with 12 catches. Wisconsin beat Miami 35-3 in the New Era Pinstripe Bowl, and Baylor knocked off Vanderbilt 45-38 in the Academy of Sports Texas Bowl, the SEC's first bowl game. LSU arrived in Arizona for next week's Fiesta Bowl matchup with Central Florida a little lighter than expected. Cornerback Kelvin Joseph and offensive lineman Dari Rosenthal both are suspended and did not make the trip. That means that's 3 cornerbacks that the Tigers have scratched from their original depth chart for the game. Greedy Williams out of Calvary Baptist is heading to the NFL, and Christian Fulton is still recovering from ankle surgery. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
.1017 FM and 710 Keel. Robert and Erin at 7:55. Sort of the latest viral video is Macaulay Culkin, and it's sort of a, how old is he now? Close to 40, I guess, huh?
God, he's got to be, at least.
And it's sort of a redux of it's a Home Alone bit, and it's a commercial for somebody, and I apologize, I don't know who it is. If you look it up real quick, you could see.
I'm trying to see who it is.
I mean, it's just, I watched about the first 30 seconds of it, and I went, oh. See, this is like calumny. This is like sacrilege. I've never seen the Home Alone movie.
What?
What? Go ahead, what?
I'm just confused that you've never seen the Home Alone movies.
If I tell you, I can tell you one worse than that. I've never watched Caddyshack. I've watched bits and pieces. I've never sat down and watched Caddyshack all the way through. I know. I'm ashamed.
How can you be a golfer and have never seen Caddyshack?
But let's move on. Macaulay Culkin has a new middle name, and it's Macaulay Culkin. The Home Alone star announced that he will legally change his name to Macaulay Culkin, in 2019. So his name's going to be Macaulay Culkin. He asked fans on his Twitter page what he should change his name to, and Macaulay Culkin won. Culkin's current middle name is Carson, but he promised to legally adopt the winning choice. And Macaulay Culkin was the winning choice. The top 5 included Shark Week, McRib, and Publicity Stunt. 757, 1017 FM, 710 Keel. Here's Sean Hannity.
Turn up your radio. Here's the Sean Hannity Morning Minute.
Polls were taken before the midterms, repeatedly showing top issues for the American people: the economy, healthcare, immigration, trade, terrorism. But the first item on Nancy Pelosi's legislative agenda is nothing to do with the top 5 issues that might actually help the American people. Now, right out of the box, she wants a piece of legislation that will force President Trump to release his tax returns. That's what you voted for? Okay. They're going to overreach. It's going to be nonstop. It's going to be endless attacks and, with their deep state partners, and all of which is going to do nothing, absolutely nothing to make life better for any one American. And that's the point.
Check out the Sean Hannity radio show later today, right here.
Hey, if you're one of 34 million Americans that smokes, you know what a hassle it can be. For me, I'm out playing golf and I come back smelling like cigars. It's the smell on your hands and your breath, your clothes. But now, thanks to Juul, you don't have to worry about it anymore. Juul is a vaporizer. It does contain nicotine for a satisfying transition. Now, when I found Juul, it was a complete game changer in my life. I don't smoke any cigars any longer, and Juul was designed by smokers for smokers to be an alternative to whatever it is you're smoking. So if you're one of 34 million adults who do smoke cigars, cigarettes, pipe, whatever, well, there is an alternative to all of them. Now, to discover the smoking alternative that's like nothing you've ever tried, just visit JUUL.com/SwitchAmerica. That's JUUL.com/SwitchAmerica. Now, warning, this product does contain nicotine, and nicotine is addictive.
Still keeping a close eye on some slow-moving traffic on Texas Street in downtown Shreveport, and we have some traffic delays on Benton Road near Green Acres Boulevard in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Keel Weather Channel forecast, kind of cloudy and a lot cooler today, low to middle 50s. What? Low to middle 50s? It was so nice yesterday. And rain on the way for the weekend, looks like. Right now, 47 at Keel. 1017 FM, 710 Keel, 8 o'clock. Here's Fox News.
Breaking news and trending talk. This is 1017 FM and 710 Keel. KEEL, Shreveport.
Just a little bit past 8 o'clock. Robert and Erin, 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. Miss Erin has local news in a couple of seconds. What you got coming up? I know the Mr. Perkins becomes mayor tomorrow morning. What else?
Shreveport set a world record yesterday, and that's kind of a big deal. Fees are going up at Cypress Black Bayou Park, and Brian Crawford got a new job.
I saw about that. Okay, we need to talk about the Independence Bowl, and for those of you who said it didn't look like there were many people there compared to a lot of other bowl games so far this holiday season, we knocked it out of the park, kids. I will make the case. Matt's rolling his eyes. Yeah, we'll talk about the gumbo. That is pretty amazing. A Guinness World Record. And Steve Parr from American Ground Radio joins us in about 15 or 20 minutes. They've got a New Year's Day thing coming up. I know he wants to talk about that. Fletcher in sports and traffic and weather, and it is all coming up here this hour, and it is right here on KEEL.
The power of information. KEEL News now.
Shreveport officially gets a new mayor tomorrow. Matt Parker with the details.
Adrian Perkins will have a busy Saturday as he goes from mayor-elect to mayor. Perkins will be sworn in as Shreveport's new mayor at the convention center at 9:30 in the morning. Then at 7 p.m., there will be a black tie mayor's gala. Both events are free and open to the public. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
Shreveport set a world record Thursday at the Walk-On's Independence Bowl. Chef John Foltz cooked up a Guinness World Record-breaking pot of gumbo as part of the pregame festivities. The gumbo, featuring everything from gator to crawfish, weighed in at a whopping 6,800 pounds, shattering the previous record by 1,000 pounds. By the way, Duke won the game over Temple. Willis Knighton Health System announcing former Shreveport CAO Brian Crawford has been appointed as their senior vice president and CAO. Crawford will take over the post on January 9th. Crawford submitted a letter of resignation to Mayor Tyler prior to the December runoff election. Fees will be doubling in the new year at Cypress Black Bayou Park in Benton. The park raising entry fees from $2 a person to $4. There'll also be a fee increase for boat permits, camping passes, and more. Officials say the cost of living has gone up and the park needs to raise prices so they can keep up with repairs and make improvements. This is the first time in over a decade the park has raised fees for users. With the new year right around the corner, it's time to start getting your tax ducks in a row. L.A. Champagne and Company partner Wayne Dussel says the tax reform bill passed at the beginning of the year means less tax work and the end of the middle-class folks with straightforward finances having to save their 2018 receipts for expenses and charity to itemize for optimal tax results.
Many people who just have things like mortgage interest, property taxes, they in all likelihood, yes, will be taking the standard deduction going forward.
The IRS will start accepting returns January 29th. A woman in active labor crossed the stage to graduate from college in Louisiana. 31-year-old Ann Chanariel Greenhouse was in active labor during LSU Alexandria's fall commencement on December 13th. Saturday, Greenhouse had a healthy baby boy, Zaire. The government shutdown now into day 7. Senator John Kennedy says negotiations have stalled, and it's looking increasingly unlikely they'll have the votes to pass a budget that includes $5 billion in border wall funding demanded by the president.
It could go on a while. If it goes until January 3rd, when the new Congress commences, there'll be a new Democratic liberal majority in the House of Representatives.
Governor Edwards says the shutdown is shameful and needs to be solved quickly in a bipartisan manner. Many CenturyLink customers across the U.S. were without internet Thursday amid a lengthy outage that stretched from New York to California. The outage began early in the day and continued into the evening. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Shreveport.
Nine past 8 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Traffic for Friday. Here's Ruben.
Bill, keeping a close eye on some slow-moving traffic on Texas Street in downtown Shreveport. And we have some traffic delays on Benton Road near Green Acres Boulevard in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Well, our next storm is back in New Mexico, and it will approach us tomorrow, ramping up the rain chances for tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow night. Sunshine here today at 57, clear tonight, low 36. Clouds rolling in with a rain chance late in the day tomorrow, 52. Rain showers likely Sunday, high 50. Richard Wettig, the Weather Channel.
.101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. The KEEL app, a free download from Office Furniture Source. And the Shreveport Security Systems text line, 318-392-1884. I mentioned that for a reason. We got an interesting text just before the top of the hour wanting to know how to activate KEEL on their newly received Alexa device.
Yes.
Walk me through that. Walk them through that.
I don't have an Alexa, so I don't know how this all works, but there's a thing that you go into the settings on your Alexa device to enable KEEL News. And once you set that up, you just say, "Hey, Alexa, play KEEL News," and it'll start playing.
Seriously.
But, you know, since I am a little lacking in the Alexa Amazon department.
Well, they're billions of dollars.
Yeah. I got the full list of instructions for anybody that got one up on our Facebook page.
Did you?
Yes, that way. So if you've got one and you don't know how it works, it's got step-by-step instructions that you can go through and figure it out.
Look at you, young man. Okay, Walk-On's Independence Bowl yesterday. Success, failure, meh? You tell me.
I'm going to go with meh. I wouldn't say it was a ringing success, and it certainly wasn't a failure. I think we're somewhere in the middle where we could have done better, but it wasn't bad.
Announced attendance 27,400 and some odd. Isn't that about right? 27.4.
492, I believe.
If you look at the number of bowl games already played so far this season, and you look at the attendance, we did a lot better or almost as well as bowls in major metropolitan areas, with millions and millions of people. Now, we'll come back to that in a couple of seconds. One of the reasons that have been given for, I'm not going to say decreased attendance at bowl games across the board, but one of the reasons that a lot of really smart people have given for bowl games in some areas to be struggling is the way that the current college football bowl series with the Final Four, which, by the way, I think kicks off in just a couple of days.
Tomorrow is the first game.
Is how that's set up. Do you think there's anybody in Shreveport or Bossier or within the sound of my voice that got up yesterday morning and said, I was going to go to the Independence Bowl. I was going to go to the Walk-Ons Independence Bowl, but because of Alabama and Clemson and Notre Dame and Oklahoma, I'm just not going to go. I find that I don't make that connection in my head. And yet, a guy who is widely considered to be, in my opinion for sure, the greatest college football coach of all time.
No doubt.
Makes that point. Somebody, as Alabama's getting ready for their first game in the Final Four, somebody at a press conference yesterday asked Nick Saban, okay, we got 4 teams. 4 teams is awesome. We should go to 8, right? And he kind of said no.
I was opposed to going from 2 teams to 4 teams. And look, I think there's been a unique thing about college football that a lot of people get a lot of positive self-gratification from being able to go to a bowl game. That means you had a successful season. A lot of players get rewarded for that. And I think the playoff has become and will continue to become, as it expands, if it's expanded, to minimize the importance of those games, maybe to the point where those games won't even exist. And I'm not sure that that is the best thing overall for college football. So that's always been, when we had a 2-team playoff, I said if we go to 4 teams, it's going to minimize that. So, you're going to see more players not playing in bowl games. You're going to see less people going to bowl games. You're going to see the quality of bowl games, maybe, or the importance of them sort of disintegrate, which I'm not sure is good for college football. So, I'm not really for going to 8 teams in a playoff. It's a hypothetical question that I have enough issues and problems to solve without thinking about how I'm going to manage something that may or may not even happen.
He's Nick Saban. He's the greatest college football coach of all time. He's the bar. He's the line. But is he right? I help me make that connection between how having 4 teams this year, it's Alabama, Clemson, Notre Dame, Oklahoma, how those 2 games take away from the Frisco Bowl in Frisco, or the New Orleans Bowl in New Orleans, or the Walk-Ons Independence Bowl in Shreveport. How does that make them less important? It's not as though that Duke and Temple were going to be in the running for a national championship anyway. It's not as though whatever teams were playing in the Pinstripe Bowl at Yankee Stadium in New York, how does that college championship Final Four affect to the negative them?
I would love to make that argument, but I can't. I don't understand it either. If anything, to me, bowl games mean more because you have teams fighting for position for next year when they're trying to get into the top 25 and get in position where they could possibly move like at UCF, for instance.
Yes.
Every year they've had bigger bowl games. They get higher up the rankings. They haven't made it to a national championship yet.
They are showing their bona fides as a legitimate college football power.
But that's how it works. If anything, these bowl games mean more because it gives more prestige and more eyes on the college where they can advance.
Independence Bowl, Shreveport, Louisiana. Announced attendance 27,492. Bowl attendances so far. I guess there's 16 or 17 been played so far.
Mm-hmm.
We are behind. Think about the metropolitan populations in each of these markets. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
The Armed Forces Bowl in Fort Worth. What's Dallas-Fort Worth? 10 million damn people.
At least.
New York City, the Pinstripe Bowl. 20 million people. Las Vegas, a couple of million. Phoenix, a couple of million. Honolulu, a million or so. We are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We are 7th out of 17 or 18 bowls in attendance. We are 7th out of all the bowls in attendance, ranked by attendance, in all the games played so far. We did better. We did substantially better than bowls being played in Frisco, Texas, Dallas, 10 million. Tampa, Florida, the Gasparilla Bowl, 14,000. Tampa's got 2.5 or 3 million people. Orlando, a couple of million people. New Orleans, metro of just over 1 million. We did better than all of them. A little bit later this hour, we'll come back to this. We've got Steve Parr next. But a little bit later this hour, we will look at this again, and I will make the case that considering the metro population of the Shreveport-Bossier area, we may be on what you might call per capita or per ratio or whatever the term may be. We may be the best attended bowl. You looked around the stadium yesterday on TV. If you were there, you're kind of going, oh, man, where is everybody? No, the case I will make a little bit later is compared to other markets with bowl games across the country, I'll make the case that we probably have done better than anyone else anywhere. Yes, finish it up.
Well, just before we move on, the idea that the stadium looks empty, you have to remember it can seat,
52,000 is the announced capacity.
Yeah, so 27,000 is an impressive number. That's a lot of folks, and it just doesn't look good.
I'm telling you, it's better than you might think. I will make the case. 19 past 8 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. And as always, my case is pretty awesome. Traffic update. I can't reach that. I can't reach my back. 20 past 8 o'clock. Here's Ruben.
The intersection at Lyon Avenue and Olive Street's dealing with some slow-moving traffic right now. And we have some traffic delays on Barksdale Boulevard near Hamilton Road in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Well, our next storm is back in New Mexico, and it will approach us tomorrow, ramping up the rain chances for tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow night. Sunshine here today at 57, clear tonight, low 36. Clouds rolling in with a rain chance late in the day tomorrow, 52. Rain showers likely Sunday, high 50. Richard Wettig, the Weather Channel.
.17 FM, 710 KEEL and the KEEL app. Sports update. Fletch is here.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. Duke scored 42 unanswered points to catch and then run away from Temple to win the 43rd walk-ons. Independence Bowl 56-27. The Owls led 27-14 after Broderick Yancey's 8-yard touchdown run with 4:26 to go in the second quarter. Daniel Jones capped a 10-play, 75-yard drive with a 22-yard touchdown toss to T.J. Rahming before going to the locker room. And then, on the opening drive of the third quarter, Jones punched it in from 1 yard out to give Duke a 28-27 lead, erasing that 2-touchdown deficit. And that was just the beginning, though. Duke also scored touchdowns on their next 5 possessions as well to run head coach David Cutcliffe's Indy Bowl record to 4-0. Jones set Independence Bowl records with 423 yards passing and 5 touchdown tosses, as well as 6 overall. And Rahming set the new mark with 240 yards receiving and tied the I-Bowl record with 12 catches. Wisconsin beat Miami 35-3 in the New Era Pinstripe Bowl, and Baylor knocked off Vanderbilt 45-38 in the Academy of Sports Texas Bowl, the SEC's first bowl game. LSU arrived in Arizona for next week's Fiesta Bowl matchup with Central Florida a little lighter than expected. Cornerback Kelvin Joseph and offensive lineman Dari Rosenthal both are suspended and did not make the trip. That means that's 3 cornerbacks that the Tigers have scratched from their original depth chart for the game. Greedy Williams out of Calvary Baptist is heading to the NFL, and Christian Fulton is still recovering from ankle surgery. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
.101.7 FM, 710 Keel, 25 past 8 o'clock. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. Joining us for a couple of seconds is Steve Parr from American Ground Radio, heard nightly here on Keel 6 till 7, along with Louis R. Avalone. Hey, Mr. Steve, welcome back to Keel. Wait, you were just here last night. How you doing this morning? Happy New Year, buddy.
Happy New Year, my friend. Thanks for having me back.
So, you guys have some special programming, and I'm kind of serious here that you wanted to promote, and since I owe you more favors than I could ever repay, you get all the time in the world. What you guys got coming up that's so awesome?
Well, we're really excited about this New Year's Day and New Year's Eve special. We were just going to do a one-day show, but it's gotten so big we've had to spread it to 2 days. But what we're doing is we're asking our elected leaders, what's the one thing you would change for 2019? We would do like a New Year's resolution, but everybody, shirks on their resolutions. So we want an action plan here, and we're asking our elected officials. So we've got Senator Kennedy, Senator Cassidy, Lieutenant Governor Nungesser, several local folks coming on, other people. We haven't completely finalized the list yet, but with the ones that are already coming on, we're really excited about these shows because it's going to give us an idea of what it is that the people that we have elected to serve us have on their hearts and minds for this next year. in order to serve us.
Well, let's tease this great shows just a little bit. Give us a little hint. I mean, if you were going to do like a sizzle reel, as they call it in the movies, what would you tell me about? What can you tell me? What can you tell us without giving too much great stuff away?
Really, at this point, that's it. That we're going to ask the senators, Kennedy, Senators Cassidy, both of them, what is it that you want to accomplish for the people? We're going to be asking Billy Nungesser, Lieutenant Governor, what is it you want to be asking? And look, you guys know, we actually have a lot of stuff in this state in particular and in this city in particular that over this next year, we need. Louisiana's losing population. What are we going to do about that? The city of Shreveport's got a new mayor, new city council members coming in. What are the things that we're going to accomplish there? So 2019 is an important year for the state, given what 2018 has been for the state and for this city. And this is going to give us a real idea of what folks are asking. And what's interesting is, as I've been talking with some of the handlers of these people, because you guys know you have to go through the handlers, right? Well, maybe not you guys.
I had to call 4 people just to get to you, for the love of God.
But
sorry, I was a joke killer there. I apologize. Please proceed.
Not a problem. The handlers are saying, hey, is this a policy thing or is this a personal thing that you want to ask? And I'm saying whatever the person that you're working for wants to talk to us about, if Senator Cassidy wants to talk about a personal thing, or if Lieutenant Governor Nungesser wants to talk about a personal thing, that's their one thing they want to work on, like I want to lose weight, I want to lower my golf score, if that's their one thing for 2019, that's going to tell us a lot about where their priorities are. So this could either be a public thing, what's the one thing they want to accomplish for Louisiana, for the United States, or for Shreveport, or this could be a personal thing, and I don't know what their answer is going to be.
You know, it's interesting rather, because you are never a man at a loss for words, either verbal or written. By the way, how's the book going? Are you almost done?
I have written the book. It is in the editing process now. The second sentence, which is about basically you can take all of our political issues and you can just filter them through the second sentence of the Declaration of Independence, and it's going to tell you what the correct answer to our problems are today.
Looking forward to seeing that. But my question was going to be, you not being a man ever at a loss for words, what are Steve Parr's wishes, hopes, otherwise for 2019?
I just hope to be as popular as you guys are. That's really my main goal.
Well, what's your second one?
Actually, the book is a big goal here for this next year. I really want this book, the second sentence, to get out as far and wide. Because when I talk to people about it, politicians, when I've talked to advocates, and I explain this concept, people's eyes bug out. It's like it's such a simple concept. It's such a simple idea, and yet it's such a powerful idea because it gets us back to understanding who we are, whose we are, why we exist as a country, what the proper role of government is, what it would take for our lives, for our each and individual lives to actually be better. We are the first country that was founded upon the idea that people have the right to pursue their happiness, and we've forgotten that.
Stephen Parr, it's American Ground Radio, heard nightly weeknight 6 till 7 on KEEL with Louis R. Avalone. If I don't see you between now and next week, Happy New Year. Pass that along to Mr. Avalone also, and thank you for the great stuff, man, as always.
Hey, it's good talking to you. Happy New Year's to you guys, and thanks for having me back on.
101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Just ahead of local news traffic update. Now here's Ruben.
Still keeping a close eye on that heavy backed up traffic on I-20 westbound near Greenwood Road due to construction. And we have some traffic delays on East Texas Street near Airline Drive in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Well, our next storm is back in New Mexico, and it will approach us tomorrow, ramping up the rain chances for tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow night. Sunshine here today at 57, clear tonight, low 36. Clouds rolling in with a rain chance late in the day tomorrow, 52. Rain showers likely Sunday, high 50. Richard Wettig, the Weather Channel.
power of information. KEEL News now.
Shreveport officially gets a new mayor tomorrow, Adrian Perkins, to have a busy Saturday as he goes from mayor-elect to mayor. Perkins to be sworn in as Shreveport's new mayor at the convention center at 9:30 in the morning. Then at 7 p.m. there'll be a black tie mayor's gala. Both events are free and open to the public. It was a record-breaking Indy Bowl. Matt Parker has that.
Shreveport set a world record Thursday at the Walk-Ons Independence Bowl. Famous chef John Foles cooked up a Guinness World Record-breaking pot of gumbo as part of the pregame festivities. The gumbo, featuring everything from gator to crawfish, weighed in at a whopping 6,800 pounds, shattering the previous record by 1,000 pounds. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
Willis Knighton has announced that former Shreveport Chief Administrative Officer Brian Crawford has a new job. He'll be their Senior Vice President and CAO. Crawford takes over on January 9th. He submitted his letter of resignation to Mayor Tyler prior to the December runoff election. Fees will be doubling in the new year at Cypress Black Bayou Park in Benton. The park raising entry fees from $2 a person to $4. There'll also be fee increases for boat permits, camping passes, and more. This is the first time in over a decade that the park has raised fees for users. According to the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial Fund, the number of officers who died in the line of duty nationwide this year increased by 12% over the previous year, a total of 144. CEO for the organization, Chris Floyd, says of the 4 officers killed in Louisiana, 1 was struck by a vehicle, 1 in a motorcycle crash, and 2 died in automobile crashes, making traffic-related accidents a great concern.
All 4 Louisiana fatalities were traffic-related, and that is the second leading cause of death this year among officers nationwide.
While the number of deaths may have increased from last year compared to the average of the last 10 years, the number is slightly below average. The government shutdown now into day 6. Senator John Kennedy says negotiations have stalled, and it's looking increasingly unlikely they'll have the votes to pass a budget that includes border wall funding. Democrats say they'll refuse to sign any budget that pays for the president's border wall. Kennedy blames the impasse on internal party politics surrounding potential Speaker Nancy Pelosi.
She wants to be Speaker of the House. She's not negotiating in good faith with the president about border security because she hasn't been elected Speaker of the House yet.
Governor Edwards says the shutdown is shameful and needs to be solved quickly in a bipartisan manner. The mother of an 8-year-old Guatemalan boy who died in U.S. custody says she spoke with her son the day before he and his father arrived at the U.S. border. Catarina Alonso Perez says he wasn't sick on the way, he wasn't sick here. New Mexico authorities say an autopsy performed on the child shows he had the flu. Michelle Obama named the most admired woman in the U.S. She replaces Hillary Clinton at the top of the list. Barack Obama, also the most admired man in the country. Donald Trump is at number 2. The 4th year in a row he's at that spot. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Muhammad Ali face. It was Muhammad Ali face. You ever see when he won the championship, beat Sonny Liston, and he did.
Yes.
I am the greatest, and he did that big. Okay.
You just caught me off guard with it. I wasn't expecting a Robert J. Wright
Impression of Muhammad Ali
yeah.
first thing in the morning. 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. Queen Elizabeth's Christmas message.
Oh God.
Sparks backlash on Twitter. See, you hate Twitter almost as much as I do. You think Twitter is as useless, and basically it's at some point in the last couple or 3 or 4 years, we as a culture have attached moral and or intellectual superiority to anything that's on Twitter. And it is, in fact, just the opposite.
Well, that's just the internet in general, but that's a whole nother anger trip I can get on.
Queen Elizabeth's Christmas message sparks backlash on Twitter for featuring gold piano. First of all, let me continue. It'll make the point. There's been an online backlash to Queen Elizabeth's Christmas message this year after viewers took offense at her gold piano. She's the Queen of England. She's literally the Queen of England. You should be more surprised if she has something that's not gold. The Queen was filmed sitting at a desk in the white drawing room at Buckingham Palace, where she delivered her speech, which included personal reflections on her life and a wish for peace. But it was the presence of a gold piano in that background that sparked accusations of hypocrisy and that she was out of touch. First of all, she's the Queen of England. It's her job to be out of touch. She's the Queen of England. It's pardon the reference, I'm not the first to say it, but she is the luckiest of the luckiest sperm club members. There's nothing luckier than being the royal family of England. Each of them gets $6 million a year, but they don't pay for anything. Imagine making $20, $40, $60, $80, $120,000 a week, and you still get an unlimited expense account. From the day you were born, everybody has, pardon me again, kissed your ass for no other reason than you're a member of the LSC, previously referred to. And so if you're going to, the fact that any member of that family, and I doubt that they are, but the fact that any member of the royal family might be in any way an emotionally functional human being, to me, would be one of the greatest freaks of nature and or society that ever happened. What?
Nothing. I'm just listening to your rant. It's making me laugh.
It's legit.
I know.
Can you imagine? Imagine from the day you're born to the day you die. You never pay for anything. You're right all the time. And people do. Everything you want is a snap of a finger away. How could you in any way be in touch with anything normal?
You know what's funny to me about all this? You have a bunch of people complaining about the Queen saying nice things and her charitable, because there's a gold piano in the back.
She seems to be a nice little old lady.
But they worship the ground Elvis walks on, who was also into charities when he was alive, did all this great work, but also had gold everything. It was the most out-of-touch human being on the planet.
101.7 FM. I always said, and I always said about Elvis, when he would complain, like Priscilla would always say, Elvis died because he was a prisoner of fame. He died because he could never get away. If you go to Circle K to get an icy and a limo and a rhinestone jumpsuit, don't be surprised when people take notice. 19 away from 9 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. A great day for the Independence Bowl yesterday. I'll make the case up next. Here's Ruben.
Still keeping a close eye on that heavy backed up traffic on I-20 westbound near Greenwood Road due to construction. And we have some traffic delays on East Texas Street near Airline Drive in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Well, our next storm is back in New Mexico, and it will approach us tomorrow, ramping up the rain chances for tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow night. Sunshine here today at 57, clear tonight, low 36. Clouds rolling in with a rain chance late in the day tomorrow, 52. Rain showers likely Sunday, high 50. Richard Wettigan, the Weather Channel.
I hate it when I can't think of something. 101.7 FM, 710 Keel, Robert and Erin. The English royal family name is Windsor. It's the House of Windsor. And basically that she's the king because like her great-great-great-great-great-great-grandfather killed a whole bunch of people. But then again, the one before that did the same thing. It's,
Mountbatten.
No, well, that's her married name because she married Lord Mountbatten. But they came up with, literally the name Windsor was a name created during World War I because of the war against Germany, and they didn't think the original family name is a German name. Just like, for example, the guy who, the original owner, creator, inventor of Rolex watches, his name was Hans Wilsdorf, but he was an English guy. He had immigrated to England. During World War I, it was Wilsdorf watches. During World War I, it didn't seem like a good idea to have a big watch company named after German with a German name because we're at war with Germany, so he changed it literally to Rolex. So the family name originally was...
I'm going to butcher this. I apologize ahead of time.
Go ahead.
Saxe-Coburg-Gotha.
Yes, that's basically... Gotha. Saxe-Coburg-Gotha. Yeah, that's the family name. S-A-X-E hyphen, then the other thing. Yeah. Okay, Independence Bowl. Walk-ons Independence Bowl yesterday announced attendance of 27,000. Wait a second, I've got it. 492. I think that's pretty damn good, and I'll make the case. Now, it's not what we have had in the past, but here, let me go back to the Shreveport Security Systems text line, 318-392-1884, run down some of the listener responses this morning, and we will address them. This is at you there, buddy. Regarding Matt's Independence Bowl comments, I usually agree, but your analogies are wrong. People support local football because many have family or friends that player has played. It doesn't make any sense. Many Shreveporters, as well as most parishes, have strong ties to LSU. Always have, always will. Most people pay to see teams play. You people think they should pay to support the Indy Bowl, but people pay to support teams. Most people have no ties to the teams that were here at the bowl, hence they don't support with their money. I continue. Listening to your Indy Bowl discussion this morning. Gee, this is a little chilly. Listening to your Independence Bowl discussion this morning. I went because somebody gave me tickets. I never buy a ticket. We were charged $15 to park. I feel cheated. Damn, nipples are puckering. If ESPN does not own our bowl game, you must, and you want a better turnout, the game must be moved, but I think you'll find out ESPN controls the day and time of the game. Fair enough. If the bowl game was in the evening or on the weekend, the attendance would be better. Fair enough. The current Indy Bowl agreement with the SEC-ACC expires next year. If the bowl works out a deal with the Big 12 or the Conference USA or Sun Belt, a more regional and realistic arrangement, you'll see greater attendance. Okay. 30 seconds, because I got to take about a minute and a half.
Yeah, no problem. The only thing is, what I'm hearing from all these texters are excuses not to go. Not reasons to go, not reasons to support the event, but they're looking for excuses not to. It's ours. It's here. Either we should support it or kill it.
In the 10 past 8 segment, I listed the bowls that have been played so far in this Holiday Bowl season. And I listed the ones that we topped in attendance, those being in metropolitan areas with millions and millions. New Orleans, Dallas-Fort Worth, Tampa, Orlando, with metropolitan populations much greater than ours. Now, there is a fellow local, and I shan't mention the name, I made this case earlier, and it is someone who we respect very much. And you'll know who if you know, you'll know. He told us this one day off the air. He's in sales and marketing. And he said, look at the metropolitan population of Shreveport, Bossier, Caddo, Bossier, DeSoto, Webster. He said, you're looking at about 225, maybe 230,000 people. He said, but when you look at the economic breakdown of the population, he says, I'm really selling anything. Anytime I go to sell something, he says, I'm looking at selling to about 120,000 folks. So if you are selling your Independence Bowl, your walk-ons Independence Bowl to 120,000 people, and you put in 27,000, and let's subtract, say, 2,000 or 3,000 for each team. 6 from 27 is 21. Do you realize that we had more than 10% of the potential buyers in our area, in the Arklatex, at that game yesterday? And that's pretty damn good. It's 8:50. Here comes Your Money Now on KEEL.
American Ground Radio's Morning Minute.
A new poll out asked Democrats if they would be excited if Joe Biden, Bernie Sanders, Beto O'Rourke, or Hillary Clinton ran for president. 6 out of 10 Democrats said they would be more excited if someone entirely new ran.
Oh, sure. Choose someone new. But look, choosing a new mask for the Democrat Party makes for interesting conversation, but it's akin to putting lipstick on a pig. The bottom line is liberalism, every time it's tried, it fails. And it will fail again no matter what you call your nominee.
In 2008, Barack Obama was shiny and new and won the nomination and the presidency. But his policies were old and stale, and they damaged America.
American Ground Radio, where building a better America begins with building a better us. Return each weeknight from 6 to 7 p.m. with Louis R. Avalone and Stephen Parr on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL and streaming live at KEELnews.com.
1017 FM, 710 Keel, Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. Hockey tonight, right? Mudbugs hockey tonight against Corpus Christi. Game time 7-11 tonight and tomorrow, both nights, at George's Pond at Hirsch Coliseum. That'll be pretty awesome.
It's going to be a great weekend.
Are you a big New Year's Eve guy? I am a huge New Year's Eve guy. And I was talking to the Morning Madhouse guys who are both like millennial guys. And they say that, no, among millennials and what's the term for that slightly younger generation, ex-gennials or something like that. I don't know.
Idiots.
Yeah, well, and he says that no, that Brandon was pointing out to all the businesses like Domino's and Netflix and everybody else that is doing these huge New Year's Eve coupons because so many people are staying home and not going out. And I'm thinking, no, I love New Year's Eve. It's like, to me, it's one of the best nights of the year.
See, I hate New Year's for the same reason I hate Mardi Gras. It's a bunch of drunk people fighting over hot dogs.
That's me.
I mean, it may be you. I'd rather not get trampled over something stupid.
Okay, before we go, I understand what you're saying. I'm not totally in disagreement. I do have one question.
Yes.
Who's got the hot dogs? Back Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday morning, 6 till 9 in the new year. Robert J. Wright, Erin McCarty, 1017 FM, 710 Keel, and Kim Commando.
I'm sure you've heard about the apps that parents install on the kids' phones to see where they've been, look at their web history, and things like that. Now, spy apps are the latest weapon in relationship drama. Kim Commando with your Friday Consumer Tech Update. Get tech news and extended interviews with the free Commando podcast, available on Apple, Google, or wherever you get your podcasts. If you feel a need, you can download secret key logging apps that let you see your partner's emails and texts, track them with a GPS. And if you pay enough, you can access their Instagram, Snapchat, and social media accounts. Now, don't get paranoid that a spying app is on your phone, but there are some clear signs to look for. Your battery could be draining faster than usual, and you might see an increase in your data usage. Look to see what downloaded apps have been installed on your phone. Check your account at the Apple App Store or Google Play. Just because you think your phone's acting weird doesn't mean that it is. It could just be your guilty conscience. I'm Kim Commando. When you're hiring, you don't want to waste time sorting through dozens of irrelevant resumes. You want an efficient way to get to a short list of qualified candidates. You need Indeed.com. Post a job in minutes. Set up screener questions based on your job requirements. Then zero in on qualified candidates using an intuitive online dashboard. Discover why 3 million businesses use Indeed.com for hiring. Post a job today at Indeed.com/hire. Search for greatness. Search Indeed.
Dell's dedicated small business advisors give you tech advice and one-on-one partnership to help your business grow. And now's the time to save on select business PCs with 8th Gen Intel Core processors until the end of the year. Maximize this year's budget and find the right tech solution for your business. Plus, get free shipping on everything. Visit Dell.com/business deals or call 877-BUY-DELL to talk to a Dell small business advisor today. That's 877-BUY-DELL.
Still keeping a close eye on that heavy backed up traffic on I-20 westbound near Greenwood Road due to construction. And we have some traffic delays on East Texas Street near Airline Drive in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline at 687-ROAD.
Well, our next storm is back in New Mexico, and it will approach us tomorrow, ramping up the rain chances for tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow night. Sunshine here today at 57, clear tonight, low 36. Clouds rolling in with a rain chance late in the day tomorrow, 52. Rain showers likely Sunday, high 50. Richard Wettigan, the Weather Channel.
Breaking news and trending talk. This is 1017 FM and 710 Keel. KEEL.
But is stuck in the Senate, where it needs 60 votes.
Knighton Health has announced that former Shreveport Chief Administrative Officer Brian Crawford has been appointed as their senior.
It's the first time in over a decade that the park has raised fees on from $2 a person to $4.
I'm Matt Parker.
If you use the Cypress Black Bayou Park in Benton, well, the fees are going up from $2 a person to $4 a person with the new year. There'll also be a fee increase for boat permits, camping passes, and more. It's the first time in over a decade on FM and 710 Keel.